All right, all right. We're almost ready. Thank you all for being here. All right, all right. Thank you for being here. Finally loading up. Literally, as soon as I was starting, my computer just died because I was getting everything set up, and I guess the battery was low. But here we are. I'm on my laptop. Whoa. Got all the side cams on. I was trying to make sure everything was going good. All right. So, what is it? Hi, Ryda, 420. I like that name. Thank you for being here. Jackson's G Pop. Hopium, the GME Kraken gets released Wednesday. Let's go. I like where your head's at. Thank you for being here. Who's psyched? Let's fucking go. Crayon Green, what up? Thank you for being here. I'm definitely excited. I think good times ahead. I definitely think it's important. Don't get too caught up in this earnings report and think, oh, well, if it's not here, or what I just click, that's not what I was trying to do. But if it's not here, like, oh my god, that's it. But I think most people at this point understand that's not how this works. Oh my gosh, what is going on? What have I done? Let me get rid of that. But yeah, all I was trying to say is don't get too caught up in everything going on just because there's always going to be hype. There's always going to be ups. There's going to be downs. It feels like a little bit of an up right now. The price is rising. GameStop players about to launch, so that's exciting. But it's a long game. I think it's a long game, and time has taught us that, and lots of individual time periods where there's a lot of craziness really kind of made me understand that over time. So, of course, I'm jacked. I'm excited. I think the excitement's in the air, and I do really think they can turn a profit. I don't know if anyone saw my tweet today. I really do think that it's going to be close. They're going to have to really operate efficiently, have cut a lot of costs. Cost of goods will have to drop a little bit in terms of percentage. I'll get into in terms of what I mean by that in a few minutes. So I have Q1 pulled up from last year just for relevance, and then it has the year before as well. We could also look at macro trends for some numbers as a whole. Hey, let's go. How much free cash flow do you think GME will make? What up, Connor Nee? Thank you for being here. Honestly, I haven't quite got that analyst, or not analyst. I'm not a fucking analyst. What am I saying here? I haven't got that analysis down yet. Like, I haven't come out with a number yet, but I do expect it to be positive. I'll definitely say that, and I'll go ahead and say, off on a limb, like over 100 million at least. But definitely an impactful part of what the cash flow is going to be is, well, it's actually not going to be here, but it would be under investing activities where you would see, is it financing? Oh no, I'm blanking out. But I'm going to pull it up on the 10K, so we have that open too. But basically, we'll see maturity of marketable securities, and marketable securities are treasury bills in the case of GameStop. So they're not actually going to be paying interest monthly. They're actually going to only be worth more upon maturing. So I do want to pull out the 10K. Yes, this is it. And you can see under cash flow statement, because that is definitely something I'm going to touch on later. I mean, we're just going to always just rock and roll. That's how I do it here. Oh, but I do got to get the stream tweeted out. But I'm going to get to this. Just go by Control F. Oh, there it was. No, I literally just had it. Okay. Thank you. Yep. So cash received for interest income, that would be, for example, like a money market account, the interest paid out. And by the way, look, GameStop way overpaid for the taxes, so they wound up getting a huge tax refund. That helped their bottom line in the annual report in Q4. But that's a side topic. But what I wanted to show you here is proceeds of marketable securities. So I think we'll see more proceeds in marketable securities, and that will impact cash flow. But having said that, look how much they spent on marketable securities in the previous quarter. So if they buy a lot more marketable securities, hence just trying to earn more interest on their cash, to see it as the best opportunity at this point in time, they could be shorter term, 3 to 6 month T-bills, right? If that's the case, they might buy a ton of those, and that would potentially negatively impact cash flow. So I feel like we'll have to really look at the numbers particularly. But overall, I do feel like free cash flow will be positive. I was watching a Cohen video on CNBC about Chewy that came out a while ago, and he said the governor of growth for was free cash flow. Could be the same with GME. It is, LOL. Raider Bo, thank you for being here. And Connor Nee, I think you're absolutely right. I think it is definitely something to keep in focus because, you know, at the end of the day, let's say EPS comes in at -3 cents. If free cash flow is positive, I think, of course, the narrative out there and the stories are going to be, oh, they lost money again. Everyone was saying they're going to turn a profit. No more hype, right? Nobody likes the stock anymore, or some baloney. But anybody who's really paying attention will look at the cash flow statement and I think look at the particular numbers and see what's actually going on. Because, like, regardless of what comes out, I really do expect the report to look good. And maybe that's biased because I love the company, but every time there's a financial filing for GameStop of the updated numbers, updated of what's going on, it's a glimpse of what's happening. And they're so quiet about everything. So their earnings reports are that much more important, in my opinion, because they're not just going to come out and say, oh, we're doing this. Even the Telos thing, it was announced for the Newswire, right? And that's how GameStop announces stuff. They themselves officially put it out there. But look who put it out. News provided by the Telos Foundation. So GameStop kind of lets these partners that they partner up with announce their collabs or whatever it is. And they're never the ones that, oh, we're going to do this. Oh, we're not. Ooh, look out for this. Like, just out of nope. Here we go. We're launching Power to the Web3 players through Player out of nowhere, just like a Thursday morning. And that's just how they rock and roll. So the numbers are that important, in my opinion, for that reason. But let me get some water here. I'm going to keep this rant going. So first I want to look at statement of operations. So again, this report I have on the screen right now is the Q1 report from 2022. So we're looking year over year. I also have some notes here. And of course, a huge thing to look at in the report, maybe hasn't been talked about as much recently, but I think it's really because the fundamentals are getting exciting. But DRS, I mean, it's always talked about, right? Direct registration of shares, or sorry, direct registration system, but individuals choosing to directly register shares in their name instead of having them in the name of Seed & Co., right? But that is just an interesting aspect of everything in itself. But when you look at the point where the company is now from where all this started, and the saga as a whole, back up to like even 2019 when the company was near bankruptcy, I would say that's where the OG saga started. But look how far they've come. And it's just incredible how the narrative has changed and been thrown around and up and down, people in and out through all this time. And here we are today. And DRS is definitely, I would say, like one of the biggest things in the whole saga just because it's such a unique finding. I had never even heard of the Depository Trust Clearing Corporation before being involved in GameStop stock. I wasn't even aware that shares weren't technically in my name. They were for my benefit with a brokerage when they're not directly registered to myself. But beyond all of that, the company now is really in a spot where they can really thrive. And it's like that is all just icing on a really delicious cake. So looking at the operation statement here, the numbers I came up with, I want to put them on the screen. I had this pulled up, but let's see. I'm all messy here with my files. Oh, this was what I had. Okay, whatever. Show in folder. But what I'm guiding for, the Tetron guidance, right? And by the way, I don't provide financial advice, and I encourage everybody out there to go ahead and make your own estimates, your own numbers. Just write it down just for fun. You don't even have to post it anywhere. Who cares? If you want to, go ahead. But my point is, anybody can do this because these filings are out there. I have like no genius at all. Like I'm not trying to be like any kind of genius. Like I'm just trying to share this because I feel like it's important. And also a lot of people think, oh, I can't even do this. Like, oh, I'm not capable of this. Things like that. So you have to at least think you can. Like that's step one. So like I just wrote out my numbers here of what I think it's going to be. And I'm going to try and do this every quarter from now on just because I feel like it's good practice and just good to have an estimation and be aware of what you're investing in. But let's see, do you think the Cohen special in CNBC will be a hit piece? 100%, Jackson's. Honestly, I think 1 gazillion% on that because I just think CNBC is just a clown show, honestly. And how they've treated Ryan Cohen and spoke about him this whole time, there's like almost no way. I mean, it'll cover like some of what's happened, but it's just the way it's going to be talked about and the narrative behind it, the commentary. It's going to be baloney, in my opinion. But Of course, I would have to see when it comes out to know that for sure. But I'll be excited to see the clips going around just to start out. But it'll be, we'll see. It's coming out right before GameStop earnings too. Also interesting. I don't know though because Larry Chang is on the CNB special. It would be interesting for sure. Oh, okay, Connor Nee. Good point. I mean, I didn't know that point actually. So I've only like kind of scrolled past it. I haven't read what exactly it's going to be. So is from my understanding, it's just a documentary on Ryan Cohen and some of the what's happened with how he's gained his status or whatever. And oh yeah, I think I did see actually the clip of Larry Chang. It's coming back to me now. He was saying like Ryan's an interesting guy or something like that. So maybe Larry Chang more so because he's just involved in a lot of other things. And yeah, I don't know. They might have had Ryan Cohen a little bit, but I still think maybe Larry Chang, what he says is going to be good or actually valid or something you want to hear. I think the piece as a whole is unfortunately going to be like a hit piece. Okay. So what we wanted to go do here. They got a trailer on it. Just saw. Good looks, Connor. I'm gonna check it out. But yeah, I think I saw part of it, or I don't know. I saw a clip. Maybe I did see the trailer, then I just forgot. But so I was thinking, do Tetron's numbers here. And again, I don't provide financial advice. You guys should all do this in your own way. I mean, you don't have to necessarily write it down if you don't want to. Fine. But I have found doing this now and like over time, like ever since I've been involved in investing, I've always just written shit down. And I found like pen to paper really worked for me personally. But just looking through numbers and even though I didn't know what the hell I was doing in high school when I used to read it, uh, I feel like just over time that really helped. And it's funny to look back on how I used to like write stuff down, what I looked to be important, why I thought a stock was a good stock, why I was making a trade, why I was playing a certain option. And I don't know if I know I've said this, but I don't know if anybody here has heard me say this in the past. But I used to trade like every kind of thing before GameStop. I tried forex, I tried crypto day trading, I tried options, buying options, selling options. Which selling options, I think there's actually money to be made, but you have to be experienced. And I'm choosing not to do that right now because I don't feel comfortable to do it. And it's anything you do, I realize stress associated with it. So unless you really know one of these things, it's not worth ever chasing the hype. It's not worth chasing the next big thing. And that's why GameStop really stuck with me. And at first I was like, wow, this is crazy. And oh my God, it's going to go up so much. And that was like before I had a YouTube, everything like that. But here we are now, I am an individual who's learned a lot through watching this saga, and I really feel like this can create like there's a lot of other people like me out there, not exactly like me, but like me in the sense that this saga really showed them what investing means, how investing is versus trading. Whereas when you think of stock bro, or you think of like a lot of people actually think I'm like a stock bro. I'm not saying buy like Pepe coin or something like that. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, like do all this. I'm just saying like, here's a company I like. Here's how I'm analyzing it. Here's how I've come to understand investing versus trading. But all right, enough ranting. Let's start getting numbers on the screen. They got a trailer. Oh, will you be live for GME earnings? Connor Nee, I wish. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go live. Not try. I am gonna go live Wednesday night. But thing is, I have to work, and I work till 5 usually. Sometimes it's 5:30. It depends if it's like a busy day, and that's Eastern time. And by the time I get home, it's gonna be like 5:36. Get set up and everything. So I gotta get my whole setup going here. I'm gonna go live as soon as possible. So I'm hoping like 6 I can be live by. But unfortunately, I can't live stream the actual earnings. I really wish I could. And almost, I was literally thinking today, I should just take off work next time. I really should, or not take off, maybe take like a half day. But I mean, it's a serious part of what I do, and it's a serious thing to me. It's only 4 times a year. I mean, I don't know. I'll think about it next time. Am I late? 1, 2, 3, 8, 8, 8, 7, 5, 3. No, you're not. You're chilling. You're here. We're just about to go through the numbers. So let's make it red. This is what I think it's going to be. We'll do green. So I said, well, I think retail sales as a whole right now are struggling a little bit. So GameStop's passion behind its brand is really going to have to be what keeps net sales about even. But I think it's possible, we go slightly less. And I like memes, right? So 69. I was thinking like maybe 70, maybe 60, but I'm like, I'll go lean forwards, right? So 1.369 billion. That's what I'm estimating here. And exactly, guys, what I'm showing you is like, you're probably thinking like, this is no genius outlook, but I think when you just start to put numbers together, it starts to make sense. And like what I did here today, I calculated like the percentage of what cost of goods is in each of these. So I'll do it again right here. Because I also just laugh at the fact like these analysts put out these numbers. Because like, what do they truly know? You know, it's like oh, analyst expectations. Like there's so much like weight put on them. But especially in GameStop's case, it's literally three people that have analysts that three analysts that cover it. So it's like a joke in my opinion. Like it doesn't even make sense. But it's what it's compared against, right? That's how there's the EPS estimate of negative 12 cents. 276.8. So it's 74.1% of cost of goods. And then that was in 2021. And now in 2022, whoa, the chat, Colin Rich. Oh yeah, Richard Newton, right? I watched his video recently. I lost track like with the other YouTube guys. I really used to keep up with them a lot, but just trying to do my own stuff and just trying to always like read on my own. And like, I definitely love hearing their perspectives. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's like a hard time trying to keep up. I'm also trying to learn a lot of other things right now, or like develop myself in a lot of other ways, like just in my career and like myself as an individual, as a man, all that kinds of stuff. So yeah, I've been trying to just watch various content on YouTube since I'm already so much so embedded in GameStop. But let's get the next number here. But I guess I should have put these all prior to. I apologize, guys. Should have had it all on the screen, rocking and rolling. See, then here, cost of goods was 78.3%. But keep in mind, they're shifting towards higher margin items as a whole. That's really how they want things to go. I mean, any company would, naturally, like generally speaking. But I think what we get here, like when I did the math and I assumed 75% cost of goods, I came to 1,026.7. Or sorry, that is $1 billion. 1.026 billion. I'm confusing myself because of the way I'm writing this. Suppose I should just round like this. Keep it simple. Also just for you guys. So these are all put in billions. Okay. And that gives us 342.3, but we'll just put 343 to round. I know they're still doing cost cuts. You think this quarter we will see the benefits of that, or we'll take another quarter to see? Connor Nee, I think we'll definitely see it this quarter because the numbers I'm comparing to right now is Q1 of 2022. So this is like a full year later. So any cost cutting that took place in the past year would be shown right now for this particular quarter. Phone call, I'll have to call back later. And then selling and general administrative costs. So I caught Morantz's video, the $100 million swing. And that's kind of where I got the idea. But I thought, you know, he brought up a good point in that video that, excuse me, this year, from here to here, they were spending a ton because they were developing a lot of things. Between Q1 of 2021 to Q1 of 2022, as I recall, was some of the most spending they did in terms of laying off employees. Also, they were just adding the customer care center at that point in time. That was just getting started, which now they inevitably wound down. So there's definitely a lot of costs in there. So things like that ultimately brought me to 340 million, which would be a very sharp swing. So I was tweeting about this a little bit today. A couple people were saying, "Oh, you think it's really gonna be positive?" And I think so because I really feel like they're aggressively cutting costs, and that's how I came to this. That I didn't account for asset impairments because it was such a minor thing, and that would create an operating gain of $3 million. And how I got that, then that's 1 cent per share basically, which would be just turning a profit. because I think that really would send a strong signal to the market. Even if EPS was zero, I mean, even if it's -3 cents, I'm not going to be all that disappointed. I think it would be in here, but also keep in mind my cost of sales estimate is rough. If you change it even a percentage point, that would dramatically change it. So let's say I assume 76% cost of goods here. Do it on my phone real quick because it's easier. And also keep in mind, my top line number is also an estimate. It really depends how strong sales are. But keep in mind, if there's less sales, but it was higher margin items that we're selling as a whole, then cost of goods may fall more than we expect. So these are all the things I'm saying out loud right now, are all things that I'm thinking as I'm researching and trying to come up with these numbers and understand over time. And again, I am literally not trying to be a genius. I'm just trying to show the process of researching and just understanding things. And I really think this channel is just an opportunity to kind of document that, and people learn as I go. I'm going to learn as I go. And hopefully, in 5 years, 10 years from now, you see, damn, this guy really has some good knowledge out here. And I can see where he came from, where he's been, where he's at, where he's going, all that good stuff. So then there's about 304 million shares out there right now. So again, that's how I got, with like 3 million, 1 cent per share. That's the official Tetron estimate, right? Or whatever you want to call it. My guess is EPS will be 10 cents positive. Connor Nee, it could be. That's the thing. Like all these different variables I'm talking about, you never truly know unless you're GameStop. That's why I laugh at the fact there's these three analysts and Yahoo Finance is like, oh, GameStop's going to report $36 million loss, probably 12 cents negative EPS. No, they have okay, I'm not saying I'm knowing more than an analyst, but I'm just saying the value or the weight that is put on those numbers. I always thought like over time, it became more and more comical to me how it's always like, oh, well, the street's expecting this. Oh, the street's expecting that for earnings expectations. But it's like GameStop only has three reporters, like three reporters on it, or three companies, three analysts covering it. So you really can only take that with a grain of salt. And also look at the general consensus from Wall Street historically over the past several years. Why would they give this legitimate analysis type of deal? So I put very little weight on those. But also, whatever numbers are reported, I feel like the stock's going to move whatever way it's going to move, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. If there's strong numbers, that's certainly going to help. But at the same time, we live in a world and in a stock market and just the nature of the market where you can't be surprised if there's good earnings and then the stock price goes down. The same way you can't be surprised if you're like, these earnings are pretty fucking good and the stock price is going down. It's just the nature of it sometimes. And that's why I really think the long game is so important. But any estimates on DRS numbers? Jackson's G-Pop, valid question. Let me pull up the exact number from last time because I want to have that before I make a guess. Or what is it, DRS.GME? Where it gives you the count? Or somebody hit me with the website real quick that shows you the DRS shares over time. Like I know there's someone made something. I can't think of it off the top of my head. 100 perfect. It's a lot of guesswork, and GME bias is always negative. Exactly, Connor. Yeah, and that's why I'm like, fuck it. I'll make my own estimates. In a sense, it's my own guesswork, right? But it's my my guesswork. I would say more of a hypothesis because it's through my research and understanding the company, and my thought process is that analysts aren't calculating the aggressive cost cutting that GameStop's been doing. 101 million DRS, 29 cents positive EPS. Oh, Mark, shooting big. I like it. I like it. But thank you for being here. Would be huge, Mark. Yeah, that's right. I think the operators are the best. I think analysts are severely underestimating a Cohen and company. I think you're right. Yeah, I think you absolutely are. But it really depends. It's like how big are people shopping GameStop? I know Marantz has been saying, people aren't shopping Best Buy entertainment category as much. Target doesn't really have the relevance in gaming as it maybe did a little bit more so before. And are we going to see that made up on GameStop's earnings reports? Is there just lower consumer spending in this category as a whole right now? all these different things will start to show up. And keep in mind also, little by little, they're earning more from the NFT marketplace. That's definitely nothing massive and never going to blow the numbers out of the water. And also, what I'm still trying to understand about the NFT marketplace numbers, and I also think inevitably we'll have a Web3 category in the statement of operations here, or sorry, not statement of operations. When they further break down like where the revenue is actually coming from, because from what I understand right now, where is it on the cash flow statement? Is it where are we? Digital, not digital asset impairments. Maybe it's not on here. It's probably, oh yeah, because the NFT marketplace, the NFT marketplace wasn't even on at that time. But going back to the 10K, sorry to keep swapping around. So is the sale of NFTs, because it comes in the form of Ethereum, and then they have to immediately sell the Ethereum because they don't keep Ethereum on their balance sheet. So theoretically, they're always selling digital assets. So is it proceeds from sale of digital assets? But at the same time, I'm not too sure about that. That's something I'm gonna write that down so I follow up on that. Understanding better proceeds of digital assets. Like I've looked into a little bit, and I mean, I think what I have to look at more is the very fine print on this earnings report to see like how it's explained, what exactly the sale of the digital assets is. Because this will definitely be popping up more as GameStop continues to get involved in the space. Wait a minute. Gain on sale of digital assets. Yeah, see, I have to look into all this more. I don't want to speak on it right now because I don't feel confident enough to, but that's all right. Digital assets. But really, guys, I'm trying to just keep motivating myself. Try and just keep going because I feel like not that I've been slacking, but I could be doing so much more with my channel. Like you guys are so awesome, and I just have to work harder. That is really the bottom line. So I'm not even gonna say try. I'm gonna work harder because hard work is just a necessity in life. So I can keep being a young idiot, or I can just fucking wake up and like get into reality. So stay tuned, guys. Tetron is just gonna be growing as GameStop grows, and I'm really excited. But also, yeah, let's see what else I want to follow up. The impairments. Okay. Let's go. Oh, hitting the chat. It's popping off. Oh, my bad. I don't even have all chat on, so I apologize if I missed messages before. I just realized that. Sir Moist, thank you for being here. What up? Appreciate you. GME is the biggest brand name, which is such an underrated piece. That's very true, Connor Nee. The brand name absolutely matters. Look what Apple just came out with today. And by the way, people are saying, is there going to be a partnership? Remember Ryan Cohen's taking a dump in the metaverse tweet? Maybe. I don't know. That would be crazy. But that's tinfoil hat land. But what I was going to say is what they just came out with, those like VR goggle things, $3,500. But there are going to be people who absolutely go buy that in a heartbeat because they love Apple and they always shop Apple. So brand name and relevance. Like my brother's a huge Apple guy. He's like, I don't think he's not going to buy that though. He's not in position to buy that, but he has a Mac, got the iPhone, he's got the Beats, he's got all that stuff. But point is, brand name matters. And you're right, Connor Nee. You're absolutely right. It's a huge thing. And them getting into GameStop Player, their brand name and brand relevance is going to bring a lot of people there right off the bat. I'm undoubtedly going to try it right away. Like, I think a couple 100,000 people, honestly, just because GameStop's name's on it, if not at least 100,000. Okay, let's keep getting caught up in the chat here. Apple times Unity times Immutable times GameStop NFT. It could happen, Mark. I'm not saying it's impossible. I think it's going to be between a 1 cent positive EPS and a 5 cent positive EPS, right around where you're estimating it. Still a healthy swing from last quarter. Christopher Card, thank you for being here. And I appreciate you dropping that in the chat. Yeah, I think that's definitely a solid estimate because it just factors in, some strong cost cutting, a little bit less cost of goods, and it's just really now what's the top line going to look like. But, again, we could talk, but it's just, what's it going to be, right? What's it going to be? I was so excited for Wednesday. And definitely, like I said, I won't be live during the actual earnings report, but right after the earnings call, like 6 p.m., I'm going to go live. The thing we haven't taken into account is the GameStop proprietary NFT sales. That's pure profit. That's a good point, Mark. Yeah, because that's also not on Q1 of 2022, because at that point they didn't even have the NFT marketplace house. Like nothing was really rocking and rolling at that point in time. Thing is, we haven't taken into account. Oh yes, I sure that you're a good man. Keep grinding. Crayon Green, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Tetron, you're the goat for keep working for this. Keep working. Thank you, Connor. No, I really appreciate. You guys are all so awesome. Like you guys are for real so awesome. We need a good objective analyst like you to get the word out. God knows we can't get objective data for real from the finance networks. You're right, Mark Anthony. Unfortunately, not. I mean, one day I really would love to start like a finance YouTube show kind of thing where I just like talk with someone, like just kind of how I'm talking right now. I don't know, maybe down the line one day, but right now I'm still working and literally I've got to move out. I literally still live with my parents. I'm not even afraid to say that. I'm just a regular dude. I'm literally just a regular dude, and I could move out, right? But I would rather invest money in GameStop and other things. And my parents are great. They're not trying to kick me out right now, and I'm just content where I'm at, honestly. Joined, try to catch up, 2 times speed. BWUSAF. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Crouching Millard, Hidden Duck. There are no objective analysis or analysts. Thank you. Or yeah, I mean thank you. But I know what you're saying. If GME has positive earnings, even Kramer will be positive on GME. The balance sheet is rock solid. Jackson's. I would say don't say that because if Kramer says it's solid, I don't know what's gonna happen. Anything that guy says is good, something bad happens to it. So maybe we should. I don't want Kramer to ever talk good about GameStop. Let him hate it forever, so then it'll start going up. Have GME holders gotten that? What do you mean 123888753? Who cares? Be yourself. You'll have a house soon. Exactly, Mark. Exactly. Yeah, I'm totally content where I'm at, and I never invest more than I can afford to lose. I went, I'm literally chilling. I'm straight chilling. I don't mind at all. And my parents are great people. Shout out to them. They're also like, "You're doing this YouTube thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going live downstairs. Just to let you know." Like, "Oh, okay, word." But okay, what else did I want to get into? We could think about what is cash going to look like. I mean, of course, that's going to be dependent upon free cash flow. So let's get a better look at it from then. Whoop, right here. So the decrease in cash overall net last time was negative 236.3 million. So it's going to take a large swing, but keep in mind Q4 over Q4, there was a massive swing in free cash flow. So it's taken place before. GameStop's in a place where it could absolutely happen again, but it really, really depends. But ultimately, I don't think it's going to be negative. I really don't. And let's see, anything stand out here? Prepaid expenses and other assets. I know they had prepaid their taxes a lot in the previous quarter, so I wonder if there'll be that showing up in any which way. You always got to look at those little details. Repayments of revolver borrowings. That was the previous one. Senior notes. See, that was when they had paid off all their debt in 2021. Settlement of stock-based awards. That was a lot of when new management was hired. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't really have anything prepared for this. I mostly had, statement of operations. But it's also it's hard to prepare. I can give you an estimate on all these numbers, but it's just gonna be like Wild West type estimates, if that makes sense. Let's see. It's cracked up to be, brother. That's right. I like it. I heard us. AMC shareholders have gotten a letter from AMC regarding a price agreement meeting. Oh no, the Kramer inverse. That's right. Yeah, no, 123888753. I'm not sure too sure what you mean, but or maybe you mean U.S., but United States. But yeah, I'm definitely not an AMC guy. I wish you all the best with that. I'll just say that, but it's definitely an exciting saga and everything. Besides, APR is insane right now. I think we have positive EPS and will be S&P 500 this year. Yeah, S&P 500 is certainly possible because you also have to remember that there's several data points and a lot of people are like, oh, they need 4 consecutive quarters of positive EPS. They actually need 4 cumulative positive EPS. That is a terrible way to explain it. Let me pull up what I mean here. So in order for GameStop to be eligible, they also need to have a certain market cap, and we could pull it all up here. But first, I'll show you what I mean. Oh, not EPS, GME. Earnings per share. So right here, the trailing 12-month EPS right now for GameStop is negative $1.03. But you're like, how's that possible? Last quarter was 16 cents. So the past 4 quarters combined, if you had negative 52 cents, negative 36 cents, negative 31 cents, and plus 16 positive, you get negative $1.03. So they need trailing 12-month positive EPS. So if the next two EPS numbers come in strong, or let's say this one comes in, let's say it hits my estimate, right? It's 1 cent per share. If that's the case, then the trailing EPS would be 16 plus 1 minus 31. That's negative 15 minus 36, negative 51. So they'd be at a negative 51 cent trailing 12-month EPS. All of a sudden, that's a huge swing just from even being breaking even. And then let's say next quarter, they rock with huge EPS. They come with 55 cents. They would already be S&P 500 eligible in that scenario. But I think more realistically, they do need the next 3 quarters to be EPS positive, or maybe one of them, like this one, is just break even, and then the two beyond that are net positive. If that's the case, then that aspect of becoming SGPT. So in this case, I'm going to use ChatGPT because I like that it saves what I'm doing here. So let me see. Write something quick. But what I wanted to show is just simple as this. What is S&P 500 requirements? I'm not saying you should just ever make investment decisions based off of ChatGPT, but what you want to do is put information in here, and it'll give you like quick, long, clean version of what it is. And you could do it for simple stuff like this. You can't just do it like, oh, like write me an essay. Like obviously it's gonna sound like I was actually talking with a coworker about this today. You can tell ChatGPT to like do this for you, do that, but they make it sounds way overconfident and everything. It's like, oh, well, just do this and this, and if you reach out for need any help, blah blah blah. Like it's very like over the top, but it's good for research purposes and like grammar correcting. Like I grammar correct emails at work. Like I'll type up an email, like grammar correct this and make it sound smoother. I'll literally say that to ChatGPT, and that's what I do in this little window here. And what it then does for me is it gives me another variation, and then I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, how can I use that and then change the email I had written up originally, just to make it sound smoother, more clear, just to get like a robot's perspective. Let's see here. I have a little AMC, but I'm also mainly a GME guy. 123-88753. As long as you're mainly GME, but I do really some crazy stuff going on with AMC. That's all I'll say. I don't think it's that people like are like, oh, we have to be able to divide or something. It's just some of the things going on there. It's just unfortunate. I'll just say that. But I do wish you the best of luck, and I'm just happy you got some GME. Happy for you. Oh no, Kramer Rivers. Besides APR is insane. Let's go GME earnings. T-2 windfall. Thank you for being here. What up? Yes, sir. It's very exciting. I love if you did a full-time investment show. You and Marantz are two guys I always look forward to seeing live here. Christopher Card, thank you. No, that'd be awesome. Yeah, it really would be. But again, it has to be something I kind of feel like grow into a little bit. But keep it on the up in the old noggin here, but also write it down. Just so I feel like writing things down. There's just something about it when you put the pen on the paper. It hits your brain stronger. Like I don't know the exact science behind it, but it's just different than typing. And the way AI is really developing lately, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to overuse technology. Like it scares me in a sense. But don't get me wrong, I'm not like, oh, technology. But when there's like a chance to just use pen and paper, sometimes I'm like, all right, like I can do some stuff that's not technology sometimes. I don't know, that's a random rant, but I could even, theoretically be like, Chat GPT, give me talk show ideas for if I want to start a podcast about a journey of stock investing, this, that, and it would give me like all these different things. And I'm not going to just follow what it says, but I may use it to help me think or like jog the memory or the brain or whatever, and then start looking. But ranting here. Windfall says I like AMC Theaters as a consumer, but I dislike their CEO. I think that's fair, Windfall. I think that's definitely fair. Remember, 95% 95% of statistics are made up. Hee. That's funny. John Jar, what up? Thank you for being here. Hello, John Jar. Sir Moist, what up? I went to my local GameStop and bought all clearance HRO trading NFT cards. They have a collection staring. Oh, have a collection staring. It's buy one, get one at all clearance this week. What up? John Jar, yes, I am trying to go to a GameStop this week. Again, like I was just saying, I'm literally writing shit down so I remember it. Go to GameStop. I mean, and not that I need a written reminder for that, but I'm telling you, there's something when I write stuff down, like it just reiterates more. It just, I don't know. It helps me like schedule. I don't know. Okay, whatever. You guys don't know if you understand. But yeah, I'm trying to couple. Is it those crypto card packs where you get like a random, like you get a random NFT or a random amount of crypto? I think that's pretty cool. I'm a little bit of a gambling man. You know, I'll mess with it just to try it out and just of course to support my favorite company. Yes, Adame seems like he wants to halt the squeeze. Yeah, I don't know. Don't want to discredit the hype, but as GME keeps going up, it's more expensive to buy shares. Loved when it was at 18. If Fed raises rates again, it helps GME, hurts most other companies. I think you're absolutely right, Connor Nee, because of their strong balance sheet. They have no debt, a lot of cash they can make money on. And I think the market as a whole right now is really rewarding stocks with strong balance sheets. Like look at Palantir, their balance sheet is, I'm not going to say it's amazing, and I'm not going to say I'm super educated on these other companies, but as far as I understand, Palantir is a pretty strong balance sheet. Apple's a pretty strong balance sheet. Uh, Tesla's got a pretty strong balance sheet. Nvidia's got a pretty strong balance sheet. I mean, these are all just names that have growth and excitement behind them right now, and that's why they come to my mind. But my point is, you don't hear about Neo stock, right? Like another electric car maker explode. I'm pretty sure they have their own problems, but you don't hear about any like growth stocks that are just exploding out there. Only companies with good financials are really kind of driving the market right now. So I think you're right. Interest rates rising would benefit GME and other companies like that because they can just continue to stack on their cash and the money printer doesn't seem like it's to stop printing. So that's probably going to cause like it's cause and effect. So if interest rates are rising, the money printer is probably going, which means the money's flowing somewhere, right? And it usually flows up. But also to touch on what you said, Connor Nee, you do bring up a good point that it does kind of suck. It's more expensive because that's why, you know, like a little bit what I was saying before, what the company reports doesn't necessarily factor, like how good the report is doesn't dictate how good the stock price movement is. So it could be great earnings, the price could go down. And I think it's a great thing if that happens because then lots of individuals like yourself are like, wow, I didn't think I'd have an opportunity to buy shares to get at a lower price. And this earnings was good, but now here I am and I have an opportunity. And that's why sometimes I feel like you see a stock kind of drop off right after earnings and it starts to make a climb up. Or, you know, it goes right up and then it kind of makes a climb down. And again, it's always, in my opinion, unpredictable in the short term. Don't want to 2750 has been a range. It gets rejected off and pretty severely. Do you think that's happening again, even with positive earnings, or this a punch out move? BWSAF. So if that is a resistance point, I wasn't totally aware of that. I would say if there's strong earnings, if EPS comes in net positive, that means net income's net positive. Free cash flow is going to be strong at that point. If we had an earnings report like that, let's say EPS comes in even 7 cents, I think that's really solid and free cash flow is like 300 million, I think the stock explodes to like 30, 31. I think it'd make a significant move like it did last time, like 25% ish move. And I think in the event of a really strong earnings report, it'll blast through that. But, you know, again, that's just off the dome here. And that's just my general thought process. It has its own marketplace and economy. Oh, wait. Oh, bet. I got to check that. Oh, I see you're talking about HRO. Okay, bet. I got to try that. Yeah, because, you know, sometimes you see things like going around and I'm like, okay, this must be a thing, but like what exactly is it? I haven't seen an exact spot where I can like read about it. Like, or maybe, you know, it's just in my feed. Maybe I'm like at work and I'm quickly checking Twitter, what's happening. Maybe I have a few seconds. Like, is there anything going on? Like, what's the latest talk? Got to drop a couple likes on some tweets. Got to tweet out something myself. And then that's where I've seen it a lot. So yeah, I'm going to check that out. Thank you for saying that. I'm on the fence about wanting forward guidance. I'm good with actions speak louder than words. I think so too, John Jar. At this point, it's kind of become their MO, I would say, of just don't believe us, just watch. And our actions do speak louder than our words. So for that reason, because it's kind of become their thing, and I think I'm just used to it as a shareholder, and I think anyone else invested in the company has to accept that because it's just how they're doing things. I feel like they shouldn't change it at this point. They should just say, we're rocking and rolling. Watch. And it just kind of makes the story even better, in my opinion, because when has there ever really been a company that's done that? I mean, there's definitely companies that have withdrawn guidance, right? During the pandemic, a lot of companies withdrew their guidance, like, oh, we don't know what's going to happen and all this and that. And companies, I'm sure there's been other ones that maybe haven't had guidance, but with the kind of attention GameStop has to just be like big dick, like, nope, don't believe us, just watch. And it's not like a disrespect thing. I don't see it like that at all. I think it's a cool thing where it's like, we know the media is just going to say some garbage about whatever we say. So why even say anything? I like it. I really do like it. Any thoughts about the yearly meeting? Not too much, Jackson's. I definitely want to see what comes out of it, but I haven't even actually thought about it too much, to be honest. Like, I know when the proxy had come out, I voted and all that good stuff. But since then, I've kind of been caught up in the earnings hype and just some other stuff going on. So I got to follow up on that. Another thing to write down. And also, since we're kind of talking about like various things right now, yearly meeting, something I want to do, and this is where I need like a legit computer because my computer's fucking Surface laptop, so I can't do this. I bought a loft with the Metagates thing. It's a really cool concept. I was reading about it. Um, Again, I'll write that down because I want to make a video on that. And also, I want to make a DRS video coming out soon. Got ideas, guys. It's just about making it happen. And also, I should finish this thought that's like on the screen here. Whoa. Okay. But the market capitalization. Let's see. It doesn't even have it here after all that. I was saying like, oh yeah, it's a great research tool, but this is where sometimes you just have to go to like Google and be like S&P 500 requirements. At John J. Binks, I have no desire for forward guidance for GME. I'd rather C-suite team execute the plan to create further value for us. Absolutely, man, absolutely. But I could definitely see why. You know, it's not like a totally absurd idea at all. But I feel like GameStop's got that MO now. The need to know. At least 12.7 billion. I thought it was a little bit less. But what's GameStop at right now exactly as of today? Let's see. Have a majority of its shares in public hands. Definitely GameStop does. And being public for at least a year. Definitely. And then cumulative EPS. The value of its market capitalization trades annually. It definitely does. At least 250,000 of its shares trade in each of the previous 6 months. That is the case, even with the low volume. Most of its shares are in the public's hands. Correct. A lot of them are DRS'd. It has, yes, no, IPO already happened a long time ago. Has a positive sum of the previous 4-quarter earnings as well as the most recent quarter. Okay, so the very last quarter would have to be net positive EPS. But again, they're probably going to have 4 EPS in a row positive, or at least the next 2 strong. But let's see where they're at. And I know a lot of people say like, oh yeah, remember GameStop has $100 million that they could use to buy back stock right away. They don't even have to change anything. And that sounds good and all, but I think almost the threat, or I'm not saying, okay, let me back up. It's not, I think that's great, but I think they're almost waiting to like really put the pressure on for like, if the stock price is even lower again and they know they're in a position where the market's accepted that they're EPS positive, then at that point they're like, all right, we're going to boost our share buyback plan to be 500 million and we're going to start actively buying back stock. I feel like right now the threat of them being able to buy it back, because you have to think about anybody who likes the stock researches it, right? So theoretically that means anybody that's shorting the stock or betting against it has done their research on it as well. So you would have to think they would understand like, okay, well, at a certain point, this company that doesn't have a lot of shares trade generally has low liquidity because of tons of individuals choosing to directly register shares. If they do use that 100 million plus or 100 million-ish to buy back shares, that could have an impact. I got to keep an eye on that. You know, that could happen. I'm going to be looking out for that type of like on guard, or it's just a part of the chess game, I guess is what I'm saying, or kind of my perspective on that. But I think when they do buy back shares, they'll be all about it. They're not just going to do 100 million. I think they'll announce an expansion of the plan to like 500 million, 600 million, 700 million, maybe, but it really depends how strong their cash is at that point in time. And also, you have to keep in mind, maybe they're planning an acquisition. Maybe they're planning something even beyond player. Maybe they're going to have streamers on. I don't know. I haven't even thought about all this, right? But my point is, player is going to be an investment partly, but maybe there's some other investment they're going to make as well. So they're going to keep utilizing their cash to grow the company. And then I think over time, things like share buybacks and inevitably dividends down the line. And shout out to Morantz. He's definitely put me onto that idea originally. Will happen over time because like the company will be in position to do that, and they'll have a lot of excess cash. Whereas right now, they're earning a ton of interest on their cash, and they can keep seeking out opportunities. And as some of these other names are maybe falling a lot in value, then go out there and make an acquisition. I know last time we were talking about like Funko randomly. A random name that comes to mind is Turtle Beach. They have a pretty small market cap. Seems like a decently legit brand from what I'm aware of. I've had a headset once. I liked it. It was good. I have to see their balance sheet though. But GameStop would be in a position, right? Let's say they theoretically buy out this company. They could just pay off that debt in a heartbeat if it has bad interest rate and decent insider holding. That's always a nice sign. And I don't know anything about Turtle Beach stock, honestly. I just know that they trade publicly. And at one point, they were booming a lot after 2021, yeah. Or like right after I remember looking at it here, being like, oh, nobody's ever going to buy headsets. Then I was like, here. And I was like, wow, this thing went all the way there. But of course, it came down like a lot of other names that were hyped up at that time. But I don't know. The point is, there's a lot of opportunities for GameStop just so long as they drive forward and succeed. It just opens a door to more opportunities through success. It's like butchering that self-fulfilling prophecy kind of. Let's see, what day is the report? Can't wait to see DRS pool tracker fill up. Ken Dangle, thank you for being here. It's coming out Wednesday afternoon. Should be an exciting time. You can catch me live here at 6 p.m. Quote unquote overvalued. Is there any ETA update for GME today? What is it? Jovidas Strapus. Thank you for being here. Not from me. I'm not I'm not a TA guy, unfortunately. I very limited understanding of it. Shout out Xbit if you guys know him. He was telling me a little bit of stuff a while back, and I'm not like entirely unaware. Like I've understand the RSI MACD not well enough to explain it to you guys and show it to you guys, but enough to like look at it and understand generally what it is. And then of course there's moving averages and all that good stuff. And moving averages are very simple indicator. I don't mind those, but then you have simple moving average, exponential moving average, right? So not a TA guy, but again, I'll write it down. Something else to get into over time. And really, yeah, like as I learned it too, if I do wind up doing TA, I'll be like, guys, here's how I'm doing TA, and I don't know what I'm doing, so don't listen to it. So that's how I roll. I really just talk and learn as I go. But I'll be there, putting my calendar. What up, Ken? Appreciate that. Thank you. All right, no worries, broski. Just excited week for on GME. Yeah, no, me too, man. Yeah. No, you're good, but. Yeah, no, really. Thank you all for being here so much. I wanted to find, I forgot before, I just realized I didn't follow. It's not, is it just DRS.GME? Is that the other one I'm thinking of? What is the oh, computershare.net. That's what I'm thinking of. That is what I'm thinking of. Okay. Where is the not seed? Yeah, so I haven't been on here in a while, but the estimate right now, or the official number last report, it was 85 million, quote unquote, not seed. But I wanted to see, where is it? Account growth. Oh, that's percentage of growth. Okay. I should came prepared, but I just want to see the DRS numbers like in line quarter over quarter over quarter, but that's all right. We'll just pull them up right here. So this was, oh yeah, what is this form SD? So I was trying to understand this. I thought maybe I'd look into a little bit. Pursuant to the requirements, no. We may have made statements in this conflict minerals report that may constitute forward-looking statements about our plans to make additional actions or implement policies. No. Is in accordance reporting period from January 1st, 2022 to January 31st, 2022. Terms used but not defined in this report have meanings set forth in the Conflict Minerals Rule, Form SD, or the related SEC number. So this seems like something very small, but like I don't know, I heard nobody talk about it, so I'm at least curious about it. Let's see. Hopefully ChatGPT gives me something good here. Let's see what we got. Okay, this is each document serves a specific purpose and covers different aspects of securities regulations and market oversight to provide a meaningful explanation. Can I give it? I think only Bard you can give it a. All right, whatever. It's definitely, fuck. Or I'm losing my train of thought. DRS. Computer share. Oh, nope. Transfer agent. Boom. Okay, so this was the first reported second reported DRS count. The first time it was reported was, because this is Q1 2022, was Q4 2021. And I think it was about 7 point something million. I hope I'm correct on this, but 12.7 million. Oh wait, you know what I just realized? I have this, guys. Nope, I don't. Do I? Let's see. I swear, whatever. Whatever. I'm trying to do too much right now. All right, let's just pull up the 10K again. And of course, more so, but like what I'm thinking is the question than what is the amount of DRS shares. What is the way it's going to be reported? What is going to be the reporting date? Because keep in mind, this earnings report, the 10K, was all as of the end of January. Whereas the DRS count, they specifically say as of March 22nd, 2023, there were 197,058 record shareholders of our Class A common stock, excluding the approximately 228.7 million shares of our Class A common stock held by Co. on behalf of the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, or approximately 75% of our shares. Approximately 76 million shares of our Class A common stock were held by record holders as of March 22nd, or approximately 25% of our outstanding shares. So quarter over quarter, it really was only a 600,000 increase, if I'm not mistaken, which didn't really make a lot of sense. And then the heat lamp theory came out, where this day, if you look, happened to be the by far largest day for GameStop in recent memory. And that was right here. Or you can't see it exactly, but yeah, boom, right there. Massive volume. And if you look at the historical data, Ken, clutch right now. Thank you. I'm so excited. Pumped, I buy. Dip, I buy. That's the way. Thanks. So isn't it a little concerning that none of the insiders have bought the one director of 5,000 shares in the $22 range? BWU. I'm just going to call you BW for short. But BW. I think that's a valid concern. However, keep in mind, no insider has sold. I always go back to the famous quote where it's like, there's several reasons an insider will sell, but there's only one reason they buy. They think it'll go up. And in Ryan Cohen's case, he is already such a massive position at such a great entry, and he already validated that he's long, in my opinion, by doing just one more buy. And even if he didn't do that, I'd be fine with it because he hasn't sold a single share. And if you look at other companies across the board right now, insider selling is fairly common. So just the fact that not a single insider has chosen to sell, I find that extremely encouraging. And good looks, Ken. I'm gonna read it off. So it's 8.9 million in 2021 Q4. Q1 2022 was 12.7 million. Q2 2022 was 71.3 million. Q3 2022 was 71.8 million. Theorized rug pull, or not exactly sure what happened at that point in time. Q2 2022, 17.825 million pre-split. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Went backwards. But you're good. Oh, yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Because you're adjusting them in comparison to the other numbers. But and good looks on that. Good looks. Appreciate you. I'm looking over at the chat. I'm like, oh no, I totally lost my train of thought though. Oh, I was going to explain the heat lamp theory. So, if you look at the volume as of, what was it, March 23rd? March 22nd, right? That's the reporting date. So many shares were traded. So, what computer shares terms and conditions say is if you're in, and before I get into this, please do your own research, do your own due diligence. Do not just blindly trust what I'm about to say right now. Go look this up for yourself. It's out there. But from my understanding and how I see it, computer share, if your shares are directly booked in your name, then it can't be borrowed by the DTC. Whereas if it's planned in times of high demand, then your shares can go back to the DTC, or computer share basically loans them to the DTC because it's a time of high demand. When is there high demand? When there's a lot of volume on a stock. Look how much volume there was right here. And I wonder if high demand includes options contracts, swaps, futures, anything like that, that maybe GameStop has a tie into, because the underlying aspects of the financial world are such a complex web that truly can never be untangled. It's just how it's the inevitability of like the fractional money system. But regardless, what I wanted to see was when was Q3's numbers reported, because that's the theorized, as you put it, like rug pull. And I want to check chat real quick. Do you think general people will be naive enough to believe the media when hedge funds inevitably blame GME investors for their collapse and people's portfolios they manage? Mouvier, that's a valid question. I've thought about that a little bit because I think you're absolutely right. When GameStop stock does explode, and if it does cause problems for the market as a whole, or even if that narrative is out there, I don't think the average person will believe it. But I think unfortunately that's going to be the story. And I think anybody with a brain is going to look at it and be like, how did people investing in a company make things bad? And that is kind of my general thought. But at the same time, like, it really depends how it's spun, what's happening at that point in time when the stock's exploding, how is it truly affecting everything, what's going on in the world. Like, there's so many X factors, so it's hard to say. But let's pull up the previous report. So it would have been around the end of November, or here we go. So at this point, it wasn't Seed & Co. It was still Transfer Agent. And that was when there was a very slight increase. It barely moved. So it was as of October 29th. So looking at the historical data, go back to October 29th. And that would be, there was no October 29th trading day. Look at this trading day. The very next trading day, October 31st, Halloween. Remember, everyone's like, oh, it's spooky time. GameStop's going up. Look at this right here. And that's when it was still using the language of transfer agent. But it's like, maybe that happened at that point in time. But it was another something we don't understand. Like, I'm not exactly sure why it wouldn't have said Seed & Co. for Q3's earnings, if that makes sense. But then now my next question is, if you look at since that report, there hasn't been any days of massive, like, extraordinary volume. We haven't even had a single day over 10 million. The highest was this one here. So is this going to be the day? DRS count as of May 22nd, or Seed & Co. count, whatever you want to look at it as. Yeah, that's the only guesstimate I can make. Or is it going to be that the heat lamp theory is dismissed? Why is it being changed now? Are people actually just DRSing less? I don't know. truly couldn't tell you, right? At the end of the day, and that's part of what makes this whole thing so exciting to me. It's always a mystery. There's always something to uncover, something to research, something going on. So it's just exciting. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I had for today. I want to look into Telos a little bit more. And everyone sign up if you haven't already for the waitlist. By clicking join waitlist, you are confirming that you have read, consent, and agree to GME Entertainment's LLC's terms of services and privacy policy. You're at least 18 years old and U.S. resident. Oh, damn, it's only for U.S. residents right now? Currently limited to U.S. residents. Okay, so if they say currently, that means ultimately it'll be worldwide. But I'm sorry to you, those of you that are international right now, because I know GameStop's main market is the United States, but I know they really do have a strong international presence, especially with everything that's happened, their brand name as a whole, and just Reddit being a worldwide phenomenon, from what I understand. That also just put it on a lot of people's radars. And yeah, just word of mouth and various different things. But it really is, I would say, like, you guys know that guy James Drew that's always tweeting, big homie, Dr. GME. He always says like GameStop's like a worldwide movement. It's like grassroots, like worldwide movement. And like he's kind of right. Like it really is like truly something unique in my opinion. And that's why I'm so fascinated about it. And I really mostly just talk about that on my channel right now because I just find it to be the most fascinating, and I've specialized on it in a sense that I've become most familiar with GameStop, so I feel like I can talk about it the best. And as I'm doing that, I'm learning specific things. I'm trying to learn other things elsewhere and all that good stuff to really just expand into, wealth, and building yourself up as an individual. Like that's what I really think is huge, and like that's what I'm literally doing for myself right now. And like it's not easy. Like it's not supposed to be easy, and I'm definitely like learning that right now. Welcome to GameStop NFT. Okay, let's see if we can skim through. For ramps, okay, MoonPay, so it'll be used for loop ring, immutable X, while it connects. Also, you're reviewing, agreeing, complying. Let's see, anything exciting that stands out? As stated above, the site facilitates interactions between your digital asset wallet and certain protocols by providing tools for users to transact with NFTs in a peer-to-peer fashion on a protocol. Access to third-party services such as third-party services from Ramp or MoonPay, respectively, for purchasing Ethereum will certain fiat currencies, which transactions will occur through a protocol that we do not control. Access to create/mint NFTs on a protocol that may be published on the site whenever available, and access to other features, tools, softwares, and functionalities in connection with the site, including but not limited to displaying, listing, searching, and viewing NFTs. So, having said that, like I don't fully understand what this means. I might just grab this right here, or like it's putting me in a little mental pretzel right now, mostly because I'm trying to read it out loud. I could say, give me a short, sweet summary or explain this, because this is already a short piece of text. But you can put good chunks of text. Just to get an idea. In simple terms, the passage means that the website allows you to connect your digital wallet with certain platforms called protocols to buy, sell, and interact with non-fungible tokens, NFTs. This website also provides access to services for buying Ethereum, a type of cryptocurrency, with regular money, as well as the ability to create your own NFTs. Additionally, the website offers various features and tools for browsing and managing NFTs. But yeah, just stuff like that, guys. I think I'm probably going to wrap it up here because I'm trying not to overextend my stream because I feel like at the end I kind of just get like ranty and like I'd rather it always be like good quality content. That's really what I'm trying to go for. And after this, I'm going to just keep going and just keep trying to do some research and just understand some stuff like the HRO economy that we talked about. I'm going to hit GameStop this week. Boom. So it looks like not much, right? But you can actually create within here. Shout out to Freshmaker. He showed me this actually. You can basically, like, where's the details? No, not report. Metagates. So it's part of Protocol Gemini. And basically you could put these items like in your house and you can actually put your NFTs in there, but See, right now it's simple, like display your looping layer 2 NFTs, layer 1 coming soon, change object materials and textures, decorate your metagate with furniture, important display your own custom GLB assets, more formats coming soon. So while this is very simple, I think it's cool, especially if you can start to like hang out in these things. Like it's like a metaverse type of deal. Because it would be cool if I was doing a live stream, but then like I had a presence in like or I was like, yo, you guys can come watch my live stream in my loft. Like, I don't know, maybe that's some corny shit, but I just think things like that can happen. And as everything's going more and more online, like it just makes sense for it to be all connected and just the custom ability and just GameStop being at the forefront of things. And I really just bought this to try it out. I want to see if they don't show more. There's a really good Reddit post on it, but um, this dude deserves a bigger viewer base. Good stuff up, man. Always. CRO, thank you, man. I'm just trying to grow. Just trying to grow, going brick by brick, step by step. What was GME dip today? Powerhouse. It's hard to say. The price action is just a price action. I try not to get caught up in it too much. I really just focus on the long term. Seemed like just following the market as a whole. It was kind of running. Although GameStop started to fall off a little bit before the market did, from just looking at the S&P chart here. Or that might even be the futures. I'm not exactly sure what the S&P finished at today, but let's check it out just because. But I think it was just the nature of the market today, just kind of declining throughout the day. GameStop kind of just fell with it a little bit. Yeah, it started declining a little bit before, but again, day to day, we're truly never going to know. So it's all about earnings. I think that's really the big thing right now that everyone's focused on. Do you see this message? I was banned. Zero. I'm not. You're not banned. I think I'm. Am I getting botted? Do you have a price target for GME? No. Oh, I'm just playing. I know you're not a bot. Not a particular one. I like to say what deep fucking value says. Just up because I'm in it for the long term. I don't really have a particular expectation because I'm not trading it any which way. I'm really just holding it. And I just think the idea of holding, like the idea of just never even thinking about selling was crazy. But I always thought, well, I'll worry about selling once it starts going up. But what I've come to realize over time is when you have a company that's delivering shareholder value, why would you want to sell? Because it's an asset to you. And also, I believe it's an asset that'll inevitably pay dividends. And as the share price grows, inevitably, if they're issuing dividends, then the dividends will most likely grow as well. And I may be earning more in the future on collected dividends than I wound up ever buying for the stock. And if I do sell the stock, then I have a taxable event on my hands. Not that dividends aren't taxable, but just to kind of give you an idea of how my perspective's changed over time. So that's why I'm personally not worried about like a price target. Okay, so serious question here. I keep buying GME and my cost average keeps going up. Should I be discouraged? Powerhouse, I mean, I don't know. It's up to you. If you still believe in the company in the long term and you like the stock, I think you should just buy when you think the opportunity is right. And if you're not sure exactly when to buy, I would say a good strategy people use is just buy one share a week or buy one share a month, whatever your affordability is or expenditure is in terms of investing in GameStop or investing in anything. Just know thyself, and I would say do it on some kind of consistent basis. A lot of people like, oh, I have to invest a bunch of money. Like for example, right? If you put in $1,200 into the S&P tomorrow, your returns may vastly totally butchering that. May be vastly different than if you put $100 in per month for a 1-year span, whereas the market's going to go through all kinds of volatility in that time period, and you'll be kind of averaging into it. But then again, if you're doing it once a month, there's so much volatility in a month itself. So it's really about knowing yourself as an individual. For me, I'm not even sure my cost basis is at for GameStop, to be totally honest with you. I know it's in the 20s from estimation, and we might be around it right now, but I was so happy to be buying below $20. Anytime it was below 20, I was like, this is incredible because I really see what the company's doing, and just looking at the balance sheet alone, I understand that their market cap just makes no sense from where they're at. I see 120 incoming max. You should live stream during market hours. Zero. I wish I could, man. I gotta work. I'd be working full time, so this is just a side gig. But yeah, I just work a 9 to 5 during the week, so I mean sometimes it goes later and whatnot and whatever. But down the line, it's definitely something I'm thinking about. So appreciate that. Appreciate. But yeah, I think I am going to wrap it up here. Definitely check out the Modern Loft if you have a chance. Read about Telos, read about all these different things. And yeah, just continue to educate yourself as an individual. I think that's really what it's about. So yeah, great answer, man. You should live stream the rants. I have Powerhouse. I have. I'm gonna run it back. I'm gonna run it back soon. Maybe even Wednesday. We'll do it. I don't know. We kind of just it just kind of happens sometimes. If we're both live, usually someone's like, "Yo, Marantz is live," and then Marantz like, "Yo, get in here." And I feel like that might happen Wednesday. So stay tuned. I'm gonna go live at 6 ish because the thing is, I have to like come home from work, then quickly set up and everything. But I mean, it shouldn't be too long. It's just a matter of like exactly what time do I get out and whatnot. So 6 p.m. Eastern time, you can look out. Got it. Just missing. Uh, good stuff, man. Check you next time. Zero, for real. Thank you for being here. Powerhouse, thank you for being here. Ken, Movier, BWU, Joytis, anyone else who's still here. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching. For anyone watching this back, thank you too. Hope you have a good night.